Hello again, this is Marco Bertuglia with Infinity Futures, another short video on the MyTradeAssist, the algo that is now available on Sierra Chart for all Infinity Futures customers, whether they are demo, live, and sim live users. Of course, sim live is a great functionality that allows all users to go back, whether they're doing forward testing in real time or whether they want to do replay chart. Is a fantastic opportunity for everybody that has either an algo strategy like this or just a regular discretionary strategy. Today I wanted to discuss something that is been affecting a lot of traders, and we're talking about particularly day traders. And day trading especially has been very challenging because of the volatility, whether you measure it looking at the VIX, which is sitting at 13, or implied volatility, or just even the regular standard ATR on markets, not just the minis, but even crude oil, commodities, and so forth. So we're definitely seeing challenging times. And as a day trader, what can you really do? The only really two options that you have, you can stay out of those choppiness in that range if you can afford it. And if you can afford to trade on the 60-minute chart or 240-minute chart and perhaps carrying positions overnight, of course, not something everybody can do or is willing to do. Or you can just try to be a little bit more selective and try to find markets that even intraday on specific days do offer opportunities for micro accelerations, momentum breakouts, and so forth. And definitely the mini Nasdaq and crude oil are able to offer those opportunities. Perhaps not every day, but 2-3 days out of the week, you might actually find good opportunities in these markets. And these are why these markets are the favorite and more congenial markets to trade with a software like MyTradeAssist. So right in front of you, you are seeing a 5-minute chart of the mini Nasdaq with the algo added. It's not active. This is the 5-minute chart of the mini Nasdaq. So you can see that the opportunities, the swings were pretty decent, especially at the time frame that we select, which is usually 8:35 Central. There was definitely a nice short opportunity right here. Looks like here gave another great opportunity, even though it's a little bit past our time. We usually try to stay away from the choppiness of the lunch hour. But this opportunity right here, for example, the 74.84 stop was a stop loss of about 16, 17 points, which means $340 in mini Nasdaq. And $340 might not be a lot, but if you're trading two lots, it's about $700, and that could be a little rich for anybody with an account that is not, tens of thousands of dollars. So, what can you really do? How can you take advantage of the algo and these great entries that it had with a nice potential 74.84 to 74.26? So we're talking about a 60-point swing. Of course, you don't know where it's going, but definitely there is other ways to establish whether the market's got enough breadth to go much lower. So what can you do? You can probably decrease the time frame and look at the 3-minute chart. So 3-minute chart gave a similar entry signal, as you can see right here, what with a little smaller stop. Now we have about a 14-point stop. So 14 to 80, which is 560 for two lots. Maybe still a little rich. So what you can definitely decrease even further more. You can still use the 5-minute chart and the 3-minute chart as a reference, but then you can add more filtering and look for smaller opportunities. So at this point, you can even go down to the 1-minute chart and see if the 1 minute provided you any entry opportunity. Again, I have to scroll a little bit lower. Okay, so this is the 1-minute chart sell, and again we're talking now about only 8 points, 10 points stop. So this is a $200 trade. Okay, got a little, probably you definitely were able to get the first target, perhaps even the second one. Regarding the trailing stop, of course, it is recommended that you trail as wide as possible, especially after hitting the first target. And this is actually something that I would like to address before I end the video. In the settings, you have the option here, besides setting the times and the mode, which if you're doing a scalping approach, which means anything lower than 5 minutes, you can stick with normal. You don't need the aggressive mode. You need the aggressive perhaps for higher time frames, so 10, 15, 30 minutes and so forth. Contracts, I would definitely suggest to use 2 if you can afford it, because the flexibility of the second lot is key, especially intraday. The first lot will be the one that will be hit the majority of the times, hopefully. So you'll probably have a 70% win ratio with the first lot, if you're lucky. But the second lot, which will hit definitely less often, will be the one that will bring you the money. This is where really the money will be. This is where your equity line not only accelerates but also takes care of the losses that you might incur in a drawdown. So 1, 2, 3, I would say is the minimum recommended for something like this, especially when you have small stops. So what does it mean? It means that if you're risking on an entry here, 852-ish, if you're risking $200, you take 200 with the first target and you take 600 with the second. You can obviously go down to 2.5. I wouldn't go lower than 2.5, because again, when you do have micro accelerations and your stops are even smaller, then you don't want to get out of a trade with just $200, $300 in profit, where you can actually get the entire swing. So I hope this was interesting and informative for you. We'll try to do more videos on how to use MyTradeAssist, whether it's a scalping or position trading or position day trading. But for now, we thank you, and let us know if you have any questions. Bye-bye.